Have you ever wondered why some people don't have friends? When asked about this, he replied, "Friendship is like a rare and valuable diamond. There are many imitations out there. If you make mistake after mistake, you might end up thinking that there are no real diamonds in the world, that they're all fake." This statement makes us reflect on the difficulty of finding genuine friendships in a world where appearances often deceive. People often encounter superficial relationships that don't offer the emotional support and connection needed to build a true friendship. In a society where individualism is increasingly prevalent, building authentic friendships becomes a challenge. This distrust, which arises after so many disappointments, can lead someone to prefer solitude, not out of desire, but for protection. Who hasn't felt betrayed by a friendship they believe to be true? Behind this choice to isolate oneself, there may be a story of disillusionment, where the person chose to avoid new disappointments instead of risking trusting someone again. Does someone who prefers to be alone really enjoy solitude? When asked if he liked traveling alone, eating alone, or sitting in a corner away from everyone, he replied, "It's not that I like being alone, it's that I've simply stopped making new friendships. I don't want to be disappointed by people anymore." This feeling is understandable and perhaps more common than we think. People can reach a point where the pain of disappointment outweighs the desire for companionship, leading them to a life of self-imposed solitude. This isolation, often seen as a choice, can actually be a defense against the pain of trusting again. For many, solitude is not a preference, but a necessity to avoid the vulnerability and wounds that new relationships can bring. Modern society, with its fast pace and superficiality, can intensify this feeling, making it difficult for those who seek authenticity to find true connections. Thus, instead of risking another disappointment, some prefer to close themselves off, protecting themselves from the uncertainties that new friendships might bring. This reflection is well illustrated in the parable of a child who befriended an apple tree in the forest. He often went there, swinging on the branches, eating apples, and imagining himself as the king of the forest. On a sunny day, tired from playing, the boy sheltered from the sun under the tree's branches and fell asleep in the shade. This parable represents the purity and innocence of early friendships, where trust is full and interests are simple and sincere. The tree, with its protective branches and generous fruit, symbolizes true friendship, offering shelter, sustenance, and joy without asking for anything in return. However, over time, this pure relationship begins to change. The boy, who initially found joy in the simplicity of this friendship, starts to be drawn to other interests, other companions, and the bond that was once so strong begins to weaken. This story makes us reflect on how, throughout life, we can drift away from true friendships in search of something that seems more attractive or advantageous at the moment. At first, the boy believed in true friendship, but over time, he visited the apple tree less and less. New friends and other activities occupied him, and he began to drift away. One day, the tree noticed that the boy was worried and asked what was wrong. The boy, with sad eyes, said that he no longer played in the tree's branches and no longer felt like a king. "A king has money and I have none," he said. The tree then replied, "But I have apples. Take them and sell them to get money, and then we can be friends again." This change in the boy's perspective illustrates how, over time, needs and expectations regarding friendships change. What was once a source of pure joy begins to be measured by the material value it can offer. Friendship starts to be seen not for the emotional bond, but for what it can provide in practical terms. The tree, with its generosity, gives in to the boy's new demands, hoping that this will restore the bond between them. However, this transaction marks the beginning of a transformation in the relationship, where the tree's altruism contrasts with the boy's growing materialism. The boy picked the apples, sold them, but never returned to the tree. She waited for a long time, watching the days go by. One day the boy returned, but instead of being happy, he was sad. "I miss you, my friend. Why didn't you come back after selling the apples?" the tree asked. The boy replied, "I had many problems. Everyone had family, children, and friends, and I can't have that because I don't have my own home. What's the point of our friendship if you can't give me a house?" This passage symbolizes the distance that occurs when friendships are based only on interests. The tree, which gave of itself without expecting anything in return, finds itself abandoned, while the boy, trapped in his new concerns, does not realize the value of what he left behind. He only returns when he finds himself in need again, but even then his view of friendship is distorted, focused only on what he can gain. The tree, always willing to help, offers what remains of itself in the hope of reviving the friendship. This cycle of giving and receiving, where only one party sacrifices, raises questions about reciprocity in relationships that often become one-sided. The tree, wanting to help, said, "Cut my branches and build a house, and then you will be happy again." The boy cut all the branches, built his house, and enjoyed life for many years, forgetting his old friend, the apple tree. But one day he returned, now old and tired, expressing the desire to leave for a distant place where he wouldn't have to see anyone anymore. "I wanted a boat, but I don't know where to find one," he said. The tree, seeing her friend so sad, remained silent. The man took an axe and cut down the tree's trunk to make a boat. After a few chops, he succeeded and left, without looking back, leaving his old friend behind. This part of the parable highlights the exploitation of sacrifice in the name of a friendship that, for the boy, became just a source of resources. The tree, symbolizing unconditional love and generosity, ends up being stripped of everything for the sake of the other, never receiving anything in return. This makes us reflect on how, in our lives, we might take advantage of others' kindness, forgetting to nurture and reciprocate those relationships. The man's final journey, without even looking back, represents the peak of ingratitude and the forgetting of the roots that sustained him. Over time, the rain nourished what was left of the trunk, and the sun warmed the surrounding earth, attracting animals that passed by and enjoyed what was left. However, the trunk no longer found joy in anything, and everything it once valued now seemed meaningless. Yet the world continued to exist. One day, a small shoot emerged from the trunk, growing strong and transforming into a new apple tree, full of life and vigor. This final part of the parable brings a message of rebirth and hope. Even after giving everything of itself, the tree finds new life in its own regeneration. This symbolizes resilience and the ability to be reborn even after great losses. However, the fact that the trunk no longer found joy in anything reflects the emptiness left by past experiences and the difficulty in trusting or opening up to new possibilities again. The cycle of life that continues shows that despite disappointments, nature, and perhaps life itself, has an inherent capacity to renew itself, though always with the marks of previous experiences. This renewal, however, comes with a new perspective on the world, more cautious, more skeptical, yet still full of life. One day, a child approached the new tree and said, "Hello, let's be friends?" The tree, however, observed in silence and did not respond, for although it was now enjoying life again, it no longer believed in the sincerity of friendship. Deep down, the tree knew it might have been an apple tree for someone before, and that person may have lost faith in true friendships. This last reflection is an invitation to introspection. All of us, at some point, might find ourselves in the tree's position, hesitant to trust again after having given so much and received so little. The distrust generated by past disappointments can prevent us from fully enjoying new opportunities for friendship. The tree, now reborn, represents those who, although they have regenerated, carry the scars of the past. The uncertainty and silence of the tree in front of the new friend symbolize the fear of repeating the same mistakes, the hesitation to open up again to the unknown. This hesitation is common in many of us who, after painful experiences, build barriers to protect ourselves from future pain, even if it means sacrificing new and potentially genuine connections. If you know someone who doesn't have friends and doesn't trust people, be patient with them. It doesn't mean that person is bad. Maybe they have been an apple tree for someone many times and have therefore stopped believing in sincere friendships. This shows us that there are many reasons not to trust people, but you can be an agent of change. You can be an apple tree with boundaries, a true friend who teaches others how to trust again. The message here is one of compassion and understanding. Not everyone who isolates themselves does so by choice, but often as a result of past hurts. When approaching someone who has isolated themselves, it's important to do so with empathy, understanding that distrust doesn't arise from nowhere but is a result of painful experiences. Being an apple tree with boundaries means being willing to help without sacrificing yourself in the process. It's a lesson in how to cultivate healthy relationships where there is reciprocity and mutual respect. By acting with patience and respect for others' boundaries, we can help rebuild trust and perhaps revive the belief in true friendships. With patience and persistence, friendship can grow and bring joy and meaning to everyone involved. As the friendship between the tree and the child grew, so did the hope in the tree's heart, and trust was restored. This shows that even after disappointments, it is possible to find genuine friendships that withstand the test of time and become true legends in society, reminding everyone that despite disappointments and skepticism, true and lasting friendship can be a transformative force. Friendship, when cultivated with care and attention, has the power to heal old wounds and open up new horizons. Even though the tree initially resisted the idea of a new friendship, the child's patience allowed the bond to form again, bringing new life and purpose. This story serves as a reminder that even if we have been hurt in the past, we should not close the door to new opportunities for connection. True friendship, when found, can bring a renewal of spirit and a new sense of belonging and joy, showing that it's worth trying, even after the deepest disappointments. Here are some benefits and interesting information about friendship. Friendship and social relationships have significant benefits for our health and well-being. Close friendships can reduce stress, improve emotional well-being, strengthen the immune system, and even increase longevity. Maintaining meaningful and healthy relationships can be one of the most important investments we can make in our physical and mental health. Science has repeatedly shown that human connections are essential not only for our happiness but also for our survival. When we have close friends, we can face life's challenges with more resilience and strength. Friendship offers a support network that helps us deal with stress and adversity, while also providing us with moments of shared joy and celebration. Cultivating these connections, therefore, is not just a matter of emotional well-being, but also of physical and mental health. Life, with all its complexities, becomes richer and more meaningful when we have people to share it with, showing that in the end, investing in true friendships is one of the wisest decisions we can make. We conclude our video here. What do you think of these tips? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell. Stoicism is full of teachings like this one, which apply to our daily lives. Therefore, I invite you to continue exploring this philosophy. I also humbly ask you to subscribe and give a like. I'm leaving 2 videos full of Stoic wisdom here for you to continue learning. See you in the next video. As we close this video, it's important to remember that Stoicism is not just an ancient philosophy, but a living practice that can transform how we see the world and our relationships. Stoic teachings encourage us to live with purpose, resilience, and wisdom, dealing with life's adversities in a dignified and balanced way. If you found value in this content, don't forget to engage with the channel so we can continue bringing more reflections and lessons that can enrich your life. By subscribing and liking, you not only support our work, but also join a community that is constantly striving to better itself through ancient wisdom applied to modern challenges.